Do you know what, right? This is the first time I've actually done the show and I'm not drinking.
How does that feel?
Like I'm a brand new person. No, literally, like, even on the last one, my mum likes the show, obviously, but she never, like, really, bigs it up. And the last one she saw with Trey, she came into my room at, like, 7 a.m. in the morning, and she was like, oh, my God, like, this is, like, the funniest thing you've ever done. She was like, this is so good. And I was like, are you sleep deprived or something? Because I didn't think it was, like, it was good, but I didn't think it was, like, as good as any of the others. Yeah. But mum was like, no, like, this is so good. Like, I'm so proud and all this. And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe I'm just going to, like, declutter. I feel like for me, because I'm quite an awkward person, I get, like, a lot of, like, confidence from alcohol.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, it's almost like when I don't have it, I don't know how to, like perform and behave and all that. Because I'm quite, like, I'm not a leader. When I'm with my group, I'm reserved in the corner, sat down talking to one-on-one interaction. Even when I was walking here, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm not drinking. What am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? Hopefully I'm going to stutter less today, though, which is nice.
I mean, but look at you now. You're thriving. You're absolutely thriving.
You're too kind. You're not a drinker, are you?
I'm not. I feel like I'm a control freak, so I really like to be in control of everything within my power as much as possible.
Love that.
So I feel like if I drank and if I liked it, I would lose control very easily because I know my.
So, like, have you drank, but, like, just not to the point where you've gotten drunk?
I've tried things, I just don't like the taste of it. If I like the taste of it, for example, if I was to, like, find a cocktail and I really, really liked it, that'd be a dangerous place to be because I would just keep drinking it. But it's like I don't care for it and I don't need it. I personally feel like I don't need it to
have fun.
Yeah, like,
cool.
People think I'm drunk when I'm sober. Like, I've actually been.
I understand that. Police.
Yeah,
what happened?
I was walking with some friends. And all my friends were drunk, and they stopped me and they were like, "Excuse me, mate, are you drunk?" I'm like, "I'm the sober one."
And what would they have done if you were?
I don't know. They were just, like, questioning people. And it was just kind of like, I don't get this.
So, like, you're able to go out and to not drink and have loads of fun still.
Yeah,
I love that for you, man.
It's very fun.
Yeah. I find that, like, because with me, I find that, like, when I'm drunk, I'm not even pissed now. I'm stirring, sluttering. What's the word? Stuttering.
Yeah.
I find that when I'm pissed, I just do so much stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, the morning after, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm like, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Someone's like, oh, yo, George, remember what you were up to last night? I was like, nope, not a Scooby. Sorry. Wrong person. I used to do this thing, where, like, it was more sort of like Grindr and stuff, RIP. I used to do this thing where, like, I would pretend if someone saw me out and they saw my profile that I was someone else.
Oh.
So people would be like, oh, yo, I've just seen you on Grindr, what's good? And that's my twin brother, Jake. Jake has been literally, like, my twin brother for, like, the last, 8 years?
Wow. What would the personality differences be between you and Jake? That I'm intrigued. Like, obviously...
Well, Jake's me.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, my God, good question. I don't know. It's more just the fact that I need when people come up to me and I feel really awkward. I'm like, oh, that's not me. That's my twin brother Jake. And I'm like, but you look exactly the same. Like the same spots on your face, same eyebrow shape. I'm like, yeah, no, identical twins. Same clothes as well.
It's like, we're still dressed the same.
You ain't got any siblings, have you?
No, it's just me.
Lucky.
See, everyone says that, and I'm just like, I just adopt people. I just adopt people into my life, and it's like, yeah, you are my brother.
Do your parents not want any more, or they just...
Oh, no, like, we all wanted more, but it just wasn't possible.
Yeah, okay, so, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But no, yeah, we'll just adopt people, so if anyone wants a brother, I'm here.
Let's go. I want to say to you, Happy Black History Month.
Woo!
Is that right? Is that appropriate? Happy Black History Month?
I feel like it is.
How are you finding this month?
Interesting. I always find Black History Month interesting because there are certain ways in which it's different for different kinds of people. So I feel like the learnings for non-Black people in Black History Month is very different for the learnings of, like, Black people in Black History Month. I feel
like Black people in Black History Month is just a fucking reminder of all the shit that's going on already.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you. I feel like this this year in particular, and I really hope the wrong people don't listen to this and find out that I've said this, but I feel like this month in particular has been a bit underwhelming.
I get you.
A lot of people who I've spoken to have said that, because there seems to be like so much noise usually, especially after George Floyd said last year and year before. And this month, we haven't had the same energy.
Yeah, and I feel like that shift has changed, but I feel like because sometimes too much energy is directed into this month, I feel, because it's like if it was distributed over the year and the same effort that we put into like Black History Month in this very short space of time, I feel like it would feel less disappointing that we're getting to this point and it's like, oh, like all they're doing is showing us the same things that they showed us last year.
Are your work quite good with it?
They're getting there. I feel like we're a very progressive like office, so everyone is like aware that it's Black History Month, and we had like a thing sent around work being like, send in things that you find inspiring or different people, and loads of people, Black and non-Black, sent stuff in. It was like, oh, that's great. But then in other places and other organisations, things like that just don't happen.
Do you know what, that's a lot, not like to like shit on you, but that's a lot better than a lot. So I was talking to, do I want to say this? Yeah, fuck it. I was talking to my manager like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I can't remember what we were talking about. And then he said to me, he was like, "Oh, is it like Black Pride Month?" I thought, but like, do you know what? I don't blame him. Yeah. I blame the organisation for not fucking telling him. Yeah. And it just feels like, because I'm in two minds, right? Half of the time I like want to be the educator and I want to tell everyone what's good from like A to Z, from like 1 to 100. But the other time it's like being the educator is like quite exhausting.
Yeah, it's so tiring. And it's like you can't always be in that position. And I feel like, I think the good thing with where I work is everyone is really compassionate. So if they don't know,
I think you'd have to be for where you work.
Yeah. And it's like people are willing to learn. It's not like, we have this thing in work called purple flag. So if someone says something that is offensive and they don't know, it's like flagging it up and saying like, actually, you can't say this because of X, Y, and Z, which is really, really helpful. And like,
does that help you learn as well then?
Yeah, because like, I've been called out on certain things. So like certain terms I've said and like we grow up saying, and people are actually, not so much I don't feel comfortable with it, but like this is offensive to like this people group. So like I think phrases like stupid or things like that are offensive to like disabled communities, because that's been used to like outwardly and openly.
See, I wouldn't know that, but
so people have brought up and I'm like, oh, okay, because it's like actually when you think about it and you like strip back certain words and where they've come from, it's like a lot of pain that comes from it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, like I find so a word that I've been calling a lot of people out on at the moment quite recently, half caste.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that comes into my work, the one that went on holiday and said about the tan and shit hit him. He came into my work and he was like, "Oh, I love half caste boys," and I was like, "I'd rather you not say that." He was like, "I've grown up with it," and I was like, "Funny enough, so have I," and it's not right. I feel like we've like gotten to a point. No, let me reword that. I feel like we've gotten to like a place where like some people are so embedded in like what's normal to them, they aren't willing to shift what needs to change.
I feel that. I get that.
Our space, more than not, is quite like open-minded and creative and willing for change. But a lot of people who are in more like traditional roles, they may have more issue like adjusting.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I think like it's helpful working in a sector where you're effectively paid to progress. Like you're paid to progress in a way that like you have to learn. Like you have to learn these things. Like in order to support some of the young people that we work with, we have to learn new things on the job all the time. And it doesn't mean that what this young person is saying is wrong. It just means that we just don't know it yet. So yeah, it's very interesting.
So you think, okay, so here's the question for you then. Everyone keeps asking me this at the moment, all my black friends and non-black friends actually, to be fair. Do you think, do we need Black History Month?
That's a very good question. So I think we still do, because we are not in a position where we can not have it, if that makes sense. There is still so much inequality everywhere. So being able to have something that flags up, like actually, if you look at history as a whole, that's taught in school, Black history is not taught within that, even though it's very much part of British history, in the same way that I feel like any month or day or anything, so whether it's like International Women's Day, Pride Month, anything like that, it's an acknowledgement that there are still inequalities there. So I feel like it still needs to exist, but I think there needs to be some kind of shift around it. So it's not just it's not just Channel 4 showing 12 Years a Slave every single year, because that's not helpful. That's really traumatizing.
Yeah, and we need Black joy.
Yeah,
like I'm so bored of seeing 12 Years a Slave. What else comes on? Like I can't think of anything else.
It's like Roots and stuff.
Yeah, Roots. Yeah. Do you know, I've never actually fully watched either of them.
No, because the thing is, I don't want to like leave my house and be like hating everyone around me.
Yeah, and
it's just I don't have energy for that.
But no, like I feel like a lot of like the content which comes up in particular, specifically for like Black History Month, is like quite like, I don't know, just like full on depressing things.
Yeah.
I had dinner with a friend last night, and I was saying to her, like, I think it's really cool how at the moment there's quite a lot of like comedic people, funny creators, which can talk about actual like issues and shit and all that, but they do it in like a light-hearted way.
Definitely.
Like, what's that guy called that does all the sketches? Right, I'm going to say his name wrong. Moana.
What, Munya Chihuahua?
Yeah, him. Yeah. Like, he always talks about serious stuff, but like in a really funny way.
Yeah.
So people who aren't necessarily as woke can still understand it and like not have to overcomplicate it.
Oh no, definitely. And I think like last night I was watching Mo Gilligan and Friends.
I love him.
Just it was so good, because obviously within the month that it's in, showing that within Black History Month in itself is powerful. Showing that any time is powerful. Like, there has never been something like that where it's a full Black British takeover. There are different kinds of Black people represented. And it's never happened. I think there was a comedian, I think her name's Ola. I probably may have got that wrong. But she was the first ever Black Muslim Sudanese woman to ever like do anything within that space, which is huge.
What's the a comedy?
Yeah.
Is she does she do stuff for BuzzFeed?
Potentially.
I wonder if it's the girl I'm thinking of. Can look afterwards. That's really cool though. And that, I think we're at a point where like we're having a lot of people that need to be the first person to do this. Yeah. Do you mean the first Black person to do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's great to see. I'm glad I'm in this time when I can witness it, to be honest. Yeah. I think an issue that I'm finding at the moment is people not appreciating and acknowledging that like Black history is British history.
Yeah, I agree.
People are like struggling to like, because obviously we do distinguish one from the other, which I understand, because Black culture is separate to white culture. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think white culture is a thing, to be honest. I saw this TikTok. This guy was getting interviewed. He's I guess he's a curator, and they were talking about white culture, and the guy was like, "White culture isn't a thing because culture is just culture. Yeah. It's just white culture." I thought it was really interesting. But yeah, I feel like people are very much like, "Oh, like this is like what's for Blacks and then what's for," which do you know what I do get, because at the same time I know Black people can get annoyed when their culture is mistreated or exploited. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. And I feel like, as you say, there needs to be an amount of separation, an amount of celebration for the specifics of Black history, but there also needs to be acknowledgement that Black history influences British history, like any other history from any other group that exists. And it's just not been that. It's very much been just like, even if you look at like Remembrance Day and stuff's coming up, even up until last year, they had to like put out a statement being like, "Oh yeah, we also do recognise that, you know, there were Black people in the war, there were Asian people in the war, there were all of these like different minorities within the war." But before they weren't doing that, it was very much all of the people who were shown were white people, and they weren't the only people like giving their lives to protect like the UK. But
it's very selective, isn't it?
It is. But I wish and hope that we can get to like a better place. It's not going to be this year, but probably in the next couple of years, where we can just have those conversations, and it's not like you're trying to make everything about like your race. Like, no, we're trying to make everything about like us all being involved.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people struggle to know the difference between black empowerment and black domination.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We don't want to like override anyone. We just want to be able to sit at the table and be as respected as everyone else.
Exactly.
How's your well-being doing at the moment?
My well-being. Oh, it's been
child.
it's been everywhere.
Like in this month in particular, given the circumstances.
Yeah, I feel like it's been largely good. I feel like seeing really cool things like Little Sims winning like the Mercury Prize.
Yes.
Which I'm like, woo, that's great.
I'm so happy. She's awesome. I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
So happy for her.
And I feel like there have been other things that have happened this month. So it was it the Guap Gala happened? And it's like all of these things that just happen to be centered around like black people have been really great to see. And it's like the first time certain things are happening.
First time for the Guap, innit?
Yeah, it's the first time that's happened. So hopefully more of those will happen. And it was incredible. Like from the outfits to the people who were honoured and all of those kind of things were absolutely incredible. But then it's also, we're still seeing things that are happening like elsewhere in the world and even in this country that's just kind of like, well, have we really gone that far? And it can be, I think sometimes like as black people, we always have to like overly regulate our emotions to not seem like the stereotype of like the angry black man or angry black woman or whatever. And I think in this month, sometimes things like that can be heightened because you're very much sometimes an emotional or vulnerable state where you can be looking at your own history, whether that's like your personal history or like the wider black history, and you're like, actually, like, this is really painful. This is like, there's a huge element of trauma that exists here. So
even if it's secondary.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, that's why seeing things like 12 Years a Slave or anything like that is so painful. And I think something that I've recognised is, because Black History Month, in its essence, exists initially for us, but now it's existing for everyone outside of the community, so then they can learn and be brought in, which therefore means things like kind of white fragility exists a lot more, because seeing something like 12 Years a Slave and being like, oh, that was my ancestors doing that to my black friends' ancestors, that triggers something off in the brain. But sometimes that's prioritized over the safety and protection of black people, which I think sometimes gets lost.
And I think also it's also become a time where like you can really like acknowledge who is and who isn't supportive. Because I've said already, I'm not willing to be an educator 24/7. And I feel like for me, it's made it very conscious for me who is someone that I know supports me and my blackness and doesn't. I've never said this before. Am I going to say it? Yeah, he's blocked. Fuck it. So I think last year, Black History Month, right? I like came to a conclusion. I was like, oh, do you know what? Like, I'm really frustrated and really like annoyed with having to constantly like explain myself and defend myself, and just for the same reasons that anyone else of any other colour will, but they won't necessarily get shit for it. And I remember I was scrolling through my phone, so I had just graduated. I was scrolling through my phone, deleting screenshots, and I found this really angry screenshot of a text sent to my friend saying, oh, I hate so... This was someone I lived with. Yeah. It was, oh, I hate so-and-so. The way he talks about black people is so horrific and all this. He won't see this, no. If he does, whatever. And it just like really triggered something in me, and I was, oh my god, what the hell? Like why for so long and for so often, and for like so frequently, why are we like the back end of the joke? Do you mean why do we have to put up with it all the time? And then I just blocked him. Yeah. No explanation or anything. I just blocked him. And I thought, nah. I think we're both now. You and I both are both at a point where we're very conscious and we can like see very well who supports our culture, our being, and our identity, and who doesn't. And it sounds really stupid, and it almost sounds like I'm a broken record talking about it all the time, because if I don't talk about it, someone has to, and some black people don't feel comfortable, and that's fine. I'll do it instead. But I feel like if you've got friends, right, if you're in a circle with people that aren't willing to have a conversation about racism, colorism, your blackness, your culture, your heritage, your oppression, then they're people that you shouldn't be fucking with, because they don't care for you and they don't care for your people. So like, why are you wasting your time?
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, it also takes a lot out of you to have those conversations. So if you have people around you who are genuinely supportive, or genuinely like they're there to comfort you in those times, it's so much more helpful than having to constantly have your guard up all the time. Even though there is an element, I think with most black people, we have our guard up a lot, but I feel like to not have to have it up all the time, like you have those people who, you know, that you can talk about like racism, you know, you can talk about it in a way that is safe and is productive and is actually going to help you to get things off your chest, instead of it just being like you feel like you're just getting all this aggression out and it's not so much received, but it's just not going anywhere. And yeah, I'm really grateful for the shift in friendship that I've had. So like even within like some black friends that I used to have that I'm now not as close to, because there are certain things within our friendships that just were not okay for me and my boundaries, and just acknowledging that and being very much like, well, actually, I understand that. I think we've spoken about this quite a bit before, but like as black men, we are both very different from what the stereotype of black men exists to be. So when other black men come to you and you're just like, oh, like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing. I'm existing as a black man, but just differently to you. And it doesn't mean that I'm any less black. It just means that I'm just not
yeah, and it's so infuriating because like we have, and this is a bit different from you, we have a very like fixed like viewpoint on blackness, and with that being said, there's also like a lot of homophobia within the black community, which obviously, and that's part of me, do you know what I mean? That's part of me that I can't take away. And like I feel like a lot of people, not everyone obviously, but enough people for it to be a problem, are very much like, you can't have both. You have to pick. I have to pick between like my queerness and my blackness, which I don't think is right.
No, I don't think that's fair.
I can remember there are actually some black friends I've made recently, and like as soon as it's come like into like acknowledgement or or it's become like visible my preference, then they've become a bit like less present. Even the other day, and I don't know if he's going to listen to this. So someone who comes on the show said to me, I can't be part of it anymore because of your what was the word he used? Oh God, what was it?
Is it like viewpoint or something?
It wasn't viewpoint. It was let me find the chat real quick. Your narrative.
Yeah.
Because narrative being black culture. And I thought, but you've been on the show, you know what it's about. Don't lie to me. Do you know what I mean? Give me some respect. It's not about the black culture. It's about the black queerness.
Yeah.
But
like, you shouldn't have to hide that either. Like, as you said, like it's you. Like it's you. And like there should be nothing to apologize for. There should be nothing to like even like turn down. Like, and I think people who have an issue with it, like they've made their position in your life known, and it's like, yeah, like you don't need them.
And the thing is, right, like, I'm not being funny, but like none of my friends are fit. Like I wouldn't make like I literally wouldn't make moves on like any of my friends. Not that it would matter, but like I mean, I guess it would because most of my friends are straight. But let's end this part with talking about like, well, okay, we've talked a lot about like the moans and the groans. Like what's the beauty that comes out of Black History Month for you? Or like is there anything that you can like recommend to watch that's like a safe space or something that gives you comfort?
I feel like there's lots of things. Obviously this podcast is amazing, so like just go re-listen to everything.
Let's go, baby. It gets better every time.
But I feel like, yeah, any space that is joyful.
Oh my God, Chewing Gum. Chewing Gum is so funny. If anyone hasn't seen Chewing Gum, I've literally watched it like 13 times. It's so good.
Yeah. And I just love things like that. There's a YouTube show from an amazing person called Terrell Grice, and I love every single thing he's done.
What does he do? I've never heard of it.
He has this YouTube channel where he interviews different singers, and then they do this like singing game together. And he's recently started this show, him and Coco Jones. Like it's so brilliant, it's so funny, and it just encapsulates joy. So I'd recommend that to anyone. Like even like if you're having a difficult day, like watching that, it will completely just like change your mindset. Like you will be laughing nonstop. And I feel like, yeah, and anything like that, like just find the black side of TikTok. The black side of TikTok is usually pretty fun, and just really enjoyable. And I think, yeah,
Black TikTok's definitely my safe space.
Yeah, like you can hear things about things that you care about, but then you can also laugh about things you care about. And I think we often don't get those safe spaces. I wish there were more physical spaces like that.
Yeah.
So like the existence of Black TikTok, but in a physical space, that would be amazing to be able to go to and just feel completely safe there. So yeah.
Maybe you can start it, Darius.
Maybe, hopefully, TikTok, you listening? Like you want to like make that space happen?
The sponsorship is coming.
Bring up the sponsorship.
Pending. Okay, so let's talk.
Check this camera.
I think it makes a noise, but if you have a look quickly, is the red still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 27.
What do you mean 27?
27 minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just carry on.
Cool.
Right, so 2 days ago, Rihanna came back from her long hiatus and released the song. Do you know, I'm a bit annoyed because I actually misread it. And I said this to you. I thought it was the Black Panther album, the whole Big Man album. So then when I was like, where's the rest of it? I was like, oh, okay, cool. So obviously Rihanna's come back with her first bit of music for like 6 years. Yeah. Oh my God. Lift Me Up. Part of the Black Panther soundtrack. What are you saying?
Okay, so I've seen lots of the discourse online.
I feel like our take's gonna be quite different.
And for what it is and the context of it, I think it's perfect. I think it's beautiful because it's a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. That's what.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. So, okay, that changes everything.
Yeah,
okay.
So the whole thing, it's a tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
The whole album?
No, not the whole album. But that specific song, potentially the whole album. So that song was written by Rihanna, Thames.
Thames is on the soundtrack. Yeah, most of it.
She's on the soundtrack, but she's also the background vocals in that, and she's also written on this song specifically.
Okay, cool.
So that in itself, I think that's why I really like it. I think because of that and where it probably will fit in the film, it may be in that like all white funeral scene. I think that's where I think it's going to go. So if that's where it's fitting, I think that'll be perfect. I think in itself, it's a beautiful ballad. I know it's not what we were expecting from Rihanna, but I think in the context of that film, it made sense and it's perfect.
You've completely changed my take. No, because I didn't know. What was your source?
Rihanna.
Because I adore Rihanna. Yeah. I fucking love her. I think she's incredible and she's so talented. But like, I wanted like bad bitch music.
Yeah. And like,
do you know what I mean? That's what I wanted. Yeah. But like the lyric, would I say lyrically? The sound itself is gorgeous, like the melody, the harmony. I think her voice is actually matured.
Definitely.
Like really nicely.
Like having that baby has really changed the vocal cords. Because
my favourite album of Rihanna is Anti.
Okay.
What's yours? I think Anti's absolutely gorgeous.
I love Anti, but I can't lie. For something that I was like,
I'm just carrying on talking.
Cool. I can't lie. That first album will always have a special place in my heart. So like,
which one though? Is it? Oh, hang on. Actually, does it look alright?
Yeah.
Which one though? Do you mean like the actual first album, or Good Girl Gone Bad?
Oh, so the very, very, very
like Music Under the Sun or something. Okay, cool.
Like I just love how it's like. It's fresh-faced Rihanna. It's Rihanna without any of like the Rihanna that we know now. So like Ponder Replay will forever have a space very deep in my heart. I don't care how old I get. I'll be listening to that on repeat. But no, I feel like just the catalogue that Rihanna has is amazing. So yeah, I'm excited for the Bad Gal Riri era to begin again, but I feel like what we've got is really mature, reflective mother Rihanna in this song.
Okay, yeah, that completely changes my take. Because, like, for me, okay, what I'm going to do is if I say it from what I thought. So I didn't, Chadwick makes it completely different.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Big Man. But, so I just thought, you know how like a lot of artists do this kind of like lazy thing where they have like a soundtrack sound put it on their album? I thought that's what she was doing. And obviously now I've kind of got the vibe that she's not going to. But, because I just thought, oh, Ree, what's going on? And I've listened to it like 20 times in the hope that I can like prefer it. But now you've given me that new meaning. I might be like, oh, do you know what? Actually.
Yeah. Did you watch it with the music video as well?
Didn't the music video come out quite late in the day?
I think it came out like 6 hours afterwards, something like that.
What happens in the music video? Because I saw on her channel, there's loads of different things. There was one that I watched, which was the only thing that looked visual, but it came out relatively late afterwards, like the evening afterwards. So was that right?
Yeah, so that basically she's on a beach next to like a fire, and it's resemblant of the actual film. So she's completely dressed in white, which hence why I think it's going to be played in the funeral scene. But yeah, I feel like the context changes the meaning. So I think if you were to listen to it whilst watching the music video, because they insert different like clips from the film.
Yeah.
I think because the thing is, it's from a soundtrack. It's not, if Rihanna came back and that was her standalone single, I'd understand everyone being like, Rihanna, like what are you doing? But yeah, I feel like, it's just with that context.
Are you excited for the Black Panther album? Well, both the Black Panther album, the Rihanna album, and the Super Bowl?
I'm excited for everything. I'm so excited. In my head, I'm like, can I get to America to go and watch that live? But I feel like I've heard like the best way to watch it is at home anyway. Like,
yeah, and the thing is, right, I'm not being funny, but like, obviously everyone who I'm friends with is quite into like pop culture and music and things like that. And I thought everyone's like, oh, I'd love to go. I'm like, the thing is though, we'd only be happy for 20 minutes.
This is true.
For the hour and a half, what are we doing?
It's like, I will find food.
I think, you know, my TikTok friend, the one that does the pop culture, I think we're going to do something together for that, which I think will be really fun. Yeah, because he's got a cool take. But I'm very excited. I think this album's going to smash. I'm definitely going on her tour, her and Beyonce. So I've started saving already.
Okay, I saw a tweet the other day which was like, I'm going to need to save like $1,000.
But America. Wait, say that again.
No, save like $1,000 so that you have like the full experience of Beyonce's tour. So like you get the tickets, but then you have like, have like a limo experience, because like it's an event. It's not just like, it's not like, I don't know, like a smaller UK artist just coming up and like you just turn to their concert.
Her tickets aren't cheap as well.
It's not cheap.
Last time I saw her was On the Run tour with Jay-Z, and even then it was like £100, so I can't imagine how much it's going to cost now, but my credit card is ready, so I don't care.
If anyone would like to, also,
I'll come with you.
Oh no, that wasn't what I was going to say. I was like, if anyone would like to give me a 25th birthday present of buying me tickets to go and see Beyonce, because it's happening in the summer where my birthday is. So if anyone wants to do that, I will not say no. I will never say no to that.
I'm so excited. Like Renaissance, like makes me feel so good. Yeah. Like it's actually so powerful.
Every time I listen to it, it changes my perspective on so many things, because I just love the stance that she took with that album, and I still love the stance that she took with that album. It's just very, very joyful in a time that
we needed. Yeah, we needed fun.
Just needed fun. Like more black joy. We love that.
Let's go, baby. So,
also, are you excited for Wakanda Forever?
For what, sorry?
Wakanda Forever, the film.
Mate, I've booked my ticket.
Okay, I have a follow-up question for you.
The 11th, 1:40.
I got the day off work.
I'm in Gloucester.
Oh, I was just like, what the fuck, I'm ready. So, because I'm very much a Marvel nerd, and in a smaller way.
Okay.
But like, I follow loads of people on TikTok who like that's their bag. So, what are you wearing on that day?
I'll probably just wear my normal clothes to be. I'm not. Thing is, I'm not like a Marvel maniac. So I love Spider-Man and I love Black Panther. That's literally it. I'm not that crazy.
That's fair, because like there were like the bunch of people on TikTok because of that white funeral scene. People are wearing white, and when I say people, I mean me. I have the outfit ready.
Okay, cool.
So,
are you going to see it that day? Have you booked your ticket?
I haven't booked my ticket yet. I'm going to go home and do that.
Yeah,
because I'm excited.
I literally said to my mate, it was yesterday, and I was like, I need to go the day it comes out because I want to review it on the show the day after, and before obviously I get a spoiler. And my mate was like, "Oh, it'd be so busy." I was like, "I literally don't care. Like, I will go." I said to him, "I was like, I will go by myself if I have to. You can either come with me or not."
Yeah.
And like 20 minutes later, I was like, "When am I buying the tickets?" I was like, "Yeah." It's good. But like, I don't know how they're going to do it though, because does he die in the film?
I believe so, because that's why there is that funeral scene in the trailer. So, to my knowledge, obviously I don't know because I don't physically know how it happened, but I feel like they obviously acknowledge Chadwick's passing, and effectively T'Challa's passing in that. But I just don't know how they're going to do it. But I just know, however they do it, it's going to be beautiful.
And Daniel's not in it, is he?
No, he's not. I'm sorry, your man's not there.
Breaks my heart. All right, anyway, moving on. R.I.P. Danny.
I mean, he's still alive.
I guess. I've told myself after today I am not talking about this man on this show again.
Okay, cool.
He's taken up too much of my time. Kanye West.
Yeah, that one.
Like, I just feel like we've gotten to a point where it's just overkill. It's just overkill. I want to read this thing quickly. Okay. So, aftermath of Kanye West's anti-Semitic comments, Adidas cuts ties, Balenciaga cuts ties, Vogue and Anna Wintour cut ties, dropped by talent agent, dropped by lawyer, streams, sales, airplay implemented, restricted from Instagram and Twitter, stadium shows cancelled and documentary shelved. Yeah. At what point... At what point do you come to the realization I need to tone it down?
Yeah.
I am very conscious and very aware that he is not well. Yeah. Mental illness, mental health is a serious matter. We both know that. Exactly. I'm very aware of that. I'm not diminishing that at all. But at the same time, Kanye West has a team. He has a team of people who have access to the facilities and the support which he quite clearly needs. And for me, it's like, how can Kanye West's team be sat there watching him do all of this and not like be like, yo, like, come on, mate, like, let's take a step back and let's like reevaluate. Do you know what I mean?
I get you. And I feel like it's really scary in a way to see like his very public deterioration. Because it's like, in any other context, if we take the celebrity out of it, if we saw that happening to like a loved one or a friend or anything like that, we would be like, you need to get serious help. But as you said, like, because his team's not doing that, I was saying to my dad the other day, like, his team seems like just a lot of yes men. So like anything he says is just kind of like, yeah, go Kanye, woo. But deep down they're like, no, this isn't right. And I don't know if this is true, but what it seems like from the outside is that some way along the line, due to his mental health, he's being exploited. Whether he has...
his team?
I don't know if it's his team or outside sources. I don't know where it's come from. But there was a point where some of the views that he's spouting now, they may have existed, but not as loudly as they do. And I feel like it's just very, very interesting. I found like what you just read quite interesting, because even the Vogue and Anna Wintour thing, in the context of it, that happened before the anti-Semitic comments. That happened in alignment with White Lives Matter stuff, because basically Kanye very publicly and disgustingly tore down a very influential black woman who works within Condé Nast within Vogue.
Oh, I didn't know this. So Anna Wintour was like, well, no.
Yeah,
like...
there was a very public statement that got put out that was like we do not support like all of the abuse that you've shared toward this person, so therefore like distance is being put. But I think an issue I've had personally is that none of this is new. Like, none of what Kanye's done or is doing is new.
It's just more visible.
Yeah. So like from the, comments around slavery and all of those kind of things, like slavery is the choice, because obviously, like, why wouldn't it? It's silly. But it's like, my issue is like, we've all heard, even prior, like we've all heard it. We've all heard that. We've all seen him with the Make America Great Again hat. We've all seen all of those things. All of those things were evident red flags that something's not right.
Yeah.
And lots of people, I'm not a big Kanye fan, so I just didn't do this, but people, not just investing into the music, I don't think, like, if you like his music, fine. But if you're still purchasing things that make him richer to be able to do more things that cause more harm, I don't think that's great. Like, personally, I don't like Yeezy. I've never liked Yeezy. I personally just think, like, the shoes are just overpriced, ugly Ugg boots.
I don't like them either, personally. I said me and Trey said this last time. Were we talking about Kanye? I think we were talking about Kanye. So. Yeah. And I'm not willing to like partake or to support someone that has like, do you know what I mean, just shits on so many people. I think the point for me where I was like, this is too much, was when he went on that podcast, Drinking Champs.
Something like that, yeah.
And then obviously he said that George Floyd died of an overdose. So now his family is suing him for 250 mil. I hope they get all the money. Yeah. But then like, at the same time, I'm thinking there's a team of people out, those other boys, I think it's Joe Budden.
Yeah, that's
he's quite a controversial guy, isn't he? But and I just think, but like, you lot are just as bad for like allowing this to happen. Because it actually got uploaded. Yeah, and there's a team of people for things like that.
Like they have to edit it and look through it and all of those things.
And then like only to receive loads of criticism for it to get removed. So I just think for Kanye West, I feel sorry for him because he clearly isn't in the right mental capacity. Yeah. But like his team, his management, they need to like get him to a safe like place where he can just, do you know what I mean, like reevaluate and like be looked after. Yeah. Take time out. Do you know what I mean? He's a very wealthy man. I'm sure he can cope for a while not working. And also like I feel really sorry for his children.
Very.
Especially North, because she's old enough to understand it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think
it's really upsetting. And I feel like, even though, like, obviously right now we are criticising what he's done and all of those things, but I think we also still need to take into account that he is a human being still, even though the viewpoints are scary and terrifying and not good at all. At the end of the day, he's still a person, and that person is linked to other people. So, his children are very much involved. His ex-wife is still very much involved. Whether she wants to or not, she's still involved. She ain't got a
choice, has she?
And it's like loads of people who are connected to him. Like there was some comments that he released on his Instagram when he still had it. I don't know if he's got it back, but about conversations that he had with Virgil Abloh, and it's like all of those things. Like Virgil's no longer alive. Keep his name out of your mouth. And it's all of those kind of things. I just think it's just odd and weird. And as you said, like I feel like he just needs space away. So like no social media, no way to spout things, because I think as soon as he has more of a platform to say more painful things, it's just hurting more people and also hurting himself. So yeah.
Agreed. Okay, let's move on. So we have a new Prime Minister.
Yay. Woo, I'm so excited.
Do you know what? I've actually, I don't know about you, I try really hard to detach myself from politics now because it just puts me in a bad mood. Yeah. Like, I had no trust in Liz Truss, sorry.
Funnily enough.
Liz Truss. But you know what I think's mad? I don't know if you've seen this. So, like, she's entitled to a salary of 100 bags for the rest of her life annually.
Because I think that's...
Am I disgusting?
Yeah, because it's like expenses or something like that. Like you can claim it as like...
For what, 44 days?
I don't know. Like it's like a lettuce outlived you. A lettuce outlived a prime minister. Like the amount of shame you have to take from that alone. That's so shameful.
That's mad to me. I think... you know, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not really a politics person. I haven't got much knowledge on it, like, to be honest. I think it's really great. I think it's really great that we're at a point where we can have a prime minister that isn't white.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I think that's great. I'm here for it. However, it's not great when it's Rishi Sunak.
Exactly.
Because he isn't good representation. Do you know what I mean? Representation isn't always necessarily good representation. Do you know what I mean? Rishi Sunak is an incredibly like wealthy bloke. He has more money than the king.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is wild.
Yeah. And I just think his principles and his motivations are always to support people in his lane.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't like have he doesn't value those who are marginalized, that being people, people of color, immigrants, migrants, queer people, trans people, women.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just think when people are going on about, oh, like it's so great, we've got an Asian prime minister. Do you know what? It's amazing that we have a prime minister which is a person of color. However, when the prime minister is someone with the same values and principles as Rishi Sunak, it's not that great.
Yeah, because it's not actually going to change anything. It's just more of the same. The only thing that's different is like different skin color. And like, I think it is worthy of noting that yes, we've got someone in that is of a different skin color, is of a different race. I think it's
incredible in itself. It's just a shame who it is.
Yeah, and I think it's also like it's still showing the UK and their true colours, because it's like Rishi Sunak got in, and the amount of the butchering of his name that I've heard in such a short space of time is shameful. Like on big news, they've got his name completely wrong.
And it's not like, it really isn't that hard, is it? I don't know if that's like coming from like people of colour, but like I just think with any name, if you say it a few times, it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would be the same as like saying like Thomas or John or Matt.
Like you'll just get used to it.
I think it's quite rude. I think it's really fucking rude and just really offensive. Like literally, like just especially. I like surely there's autocorrect for him.
Exactly, and it's like his first name and his surname are literally 5 letters each. Like it's not that hard. It's just not. And like to hear the president of the United States repeatedly get his name wrong, it's just kind of like,
oh, he's old, to be fair, he's not with it.
I know, but still, like the first time I'm like, okay, you got it wrong the first time.
Yeah,
I think it was like 3 or 4 times within the speech you got his name so wrong. Like, just there are people there to help to correct you and they didn't, and it's like, yeah, I feel like it's interesting. I don't think it's necessarily good. I think it's interesting that he's in the position that he's in, because it's going to show more of the UK for how the UK actually is. So all of the people before who were like the air quoted undercover racists are now very much more vocals. Even before he got in, there were people being like, oh, well, Rishi Sunak doesn't represent the British public. And it's like, are you saying that because you don't agree with his views, or are you saying that because of his skin colour? Because you agree with all of his views.
Yeah.
So you
can't have one and not the other.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like it is what it is. I hope he can make changes, but I also don't have much hope, because he literally just got in and he's not going to COP26. Like, that's literally part of your job, and you're not doing it.
Yeah, pretty disgraceful.
So it's like,
how much longer do you reckon he'll last compared to Liz, though?
I feel like he will last probably slightly longer than Liz. I mean, 44 days. That's terrible. I mean, maybe 3 months.
I reckon he'll last longer, you know.
I mean,
if Boris can last ages.
Yeah, nah, Boris. Oh no, but we won't go back to that. That was a traumatizing time.
Yeah, that was a dark night.
Like, yeah, I think we as a country, we just need some stability, and not just, you know, another prime minister and another prime minister and another prime minister. Like, we are literally the laughing stock of the world at the moment. Like,
no, fully. Like, who was I talking to? Was it someone in Jamaica? I was talking to someone somewhere else. I don't know where it was. And obviously the UK is, we're very central, aren't we, to the world? And I can't remember who it was. It's really going to annoy. It might have been someone who's Polish. It was someone who doesn't live in England, but I can't remember who it was. And they said to me that like, the UK is just a joke. Yeah. They were like, your prime minister just made this. Was it Boris at the time? I think it was. Yeah. And they were like it is just laughable because it's just so bad. And I was like, do you know what? I can't even deny it. Like, I'm actually embarrassed to like say I'm from the UK. It's such bad vibes.
It's like, like these Netflix shows where it's like taking the mock out of politics. We live in that. Like, we actually live in that. And I'm just like, what? Like, how is this fair?
It's just life. Okay, so we're at the end. I'm going to do my favourite bit. Tweet of the week. You know the drill.
I do.
So I find this was... Okay, so this actually was for you because it was meant to be for last week. So the way this works is I find a tweet throughout the week which I think is well suited for me and my guest. I post the tweet on my Instagram. I then get people to agree and disagree and give their reasons. Yep. We'll take your take and then we'll take mine.
Okay.
Okay, so tweet of the week. I couldn't imagine having a significant other with opposing political views.
Okay. Now, when you say political views, are we talking like I'm Labour, they're Conservative? Or are we talking about
I'm going to presume, yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, I don't think I could because there are so many disparities on things within that. But then equally, I would like to hope that if that ever happened for whatever reason, that there would be mutual respect there. So, but
I can't respect someone that supports Conservatives.
I just don't know. Like, I'm staying single for a good while because I just feel like there are people who have like these views outwardly, but internally they're like, well, actually, like I'm secretly a Tory or I'm secretly like whatever. And they like an example I can give is recently singer-songwriter Ella Henderson performed at a
oh my god
Conservative.
I was so upset.
Yeah. And like the thing is, everyone was like beforehand was like, woo, Ella Henderson. Now we're like, ooh. See, like that, I'm like, nah, I don't think I could.
Yeah,
because that's a lot like that. Takes,
do you think? But like, do you think it's worse that if someone like has made out that they're not, and then says they are? I think if someone is out and boldly says I'm Tory, I'm still not going to be interested, but I have more respect for you.
Yeah, I agree because at least you know where you stand with them. But if they've just kind of come in and been like, yeah, I'm a bit more liberal, or I, support all of these rights for people, but then come in like, actually, no, I'm very much Tory. And you're like, that would have been nice to have known like 3 dates ago because then we could have like nipped this in bud.
Not wasted our time.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day and he was saying to me that he's a Conservative, a Tory, but like not culturally and politically, but economically.
Okay.
So for the sake of like wealth. But I thought, so you're classist?
Yeah. I was like, okay.
I was like, okay, so you support blacks and queers and like women, but you don't support poor people. You know when people try and make arguments, it's like you aren't helping yourself.
No.
Just stay quiet. Thing is, this is how I see it. Because say you've got opposing views and then you have a family. Your children are half of you and half. So hypothetically, right? How old am I? 23. In 10 years' time. No, 15 years' time. 15 years' time, right? I've got 2 kids, right? I wouldn't say I'm Labour as fuck, but I'm left wing as fuck, right? So 15 years' time, I've got my family. My boy comes up to me, my little boy, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, I'm a fan of the Tories. I'm a conservative supporter." I'm thinking, well, where the hell you ain't got it from me? So where have you got it from? Oh, but Dad number 2, he's Dad number 2 can do one. Do you know what I mean? That's my divorce.
It's like he's out. He's gone.
Do you know what I mean? Though, like I don't. Thing is, right? If you have really strong opposing views and we have a family together, those views are going to go to my children, and I can't have a child that is like classist, homophobic. Transphobic.
Please no.
Do you know what I mean? Just discriminating. Therefore, I don't think I can be with someone that has such strong opposing political views.
Yeah, I agree, and I think like it also kind of goes beyond politics as well because I feel like if you are with someone who has like vastly different views to you on like life, it can, as you said, like you have children. If I don't know, this is taking it back like quite a way away, but like within specifically like Jamaican culture, parents were told like, oh yeah, beat your kids. But like if someone was still in that mindset and I was going to have a child with them and they were like, yeah, when I have my child I can beat them, it's like,
no, you can't.
like, please no.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I think it's like it's the same kind of thing, and I feel like everyone's different. There'll be some people who be like, yeah, I love an argument and like, let's have that in a relationship. That's not me. I want the soft life. Okay, I've struggled enough. I don't need it.
I need a wet sock and a sim. So read some responses. NF, the opposite is Tories, so the opposite of them, I'm guessing. Opposite is Tories, and they want to starve children and imprison protesters. Bit of a vibe killer.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can't really get turned on to that. Like,
I don't know, but people have some weird kinks, man.
This is true.
Someone agreed. I'm not going to give their initials in case someone like, because some of these lot are fucking terrifying the way they find out shit. Because I find that people don't really comment on my channel, but they'll like message me.
Oh.
And these are people that I don't know. It's never bad things. It's always like, oh, hi, Jord, hope you're well. You said this isn't right. And I went, do you know what? Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
It's not horrible. It's just like,
but like
I'm
they
correct.
Find you.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say who this is, but someone said because I love a debate.
Okay, you can love a debate.
In healthy doses.
Yeah, but like the whole of your relationship is a debate. That's stress.
It's divorce. Okay, MK. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but it becomes difficult if you don't see eye to eye. Mm. So is that agreeing or disagreeing?
I think it's
disagreeing.
I think it's disagreeing, but I think it's like acknowledging that people.
I really hate the in-between answers.
Yeah.
I'm like, just give me one or the other. But you can't see eye to eye if you've got different opinions. It's very different to supporting two separate parties and like one person wanting like chips for tea and one wanting rice.
Yeah. Like that
wasn't a very good comparison, but you know what I mean.
Okay, I get you. Because it's like, yeah, I think as you said earlier, like one. Well, I was about to say that, but that's technically not true. I was going to say one party is more, accepting of certain people and the other one's not. That's technically not true. But it's like having the knowledge and awareness that exists. And yeah, I think it's just difficult because it's like if you position yourself with a certain, I think like Britain First or all of those, like the really, really scary ones. If I met a girl and she was like, yeah, like I come from like a Britain First family, I'm out, I'm leaving, I'm gone, like I will run.
How do you define Britain First?
I think like they're the skinhead ones. Like the reason.
No, but like values.
Oh, values. Make Britain white again. That kind of view. Yeah, which is very scary.
Yeah, not my vibe, to be honest.
Not at all. Like I quite like being black. Like it's pretty fun. But yeah, near where I live, there used to be, and I don't know if they still do, but there used to be meetings in a children's centre with those kinds of people.
Really?
Yeah, you just see them walk out and you're like, oh.
I'm trying to think of where you live. Don't say it on here, but I'm trying to Right, okay, yeah. B.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, all right.
And it's like, you don't expect it there, but when you see it, you're like, okay.
It's quite a white place though, isn't it, where you live?
Oh, yeah, no, it's very white, but it's like...
You just wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, it's white, but it's not like publicly racist, it's like quietly
undertone.
Racist. Yeah.
Oh, my favourite type. Joking. I'll do one more. So, ITE, because I'm liberal, so why would I date a conservative? No brainer. They are generally shite people. I wouldn't go as far to say they're all shite people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't agree with their views. I wouldn't go as far to say that they're all shite people. Only because as a black person, we get like stereotyped and presumed all the time. So I wouldn't want to do the same to someone else. But I do understand. I think that's very valid. It's just not compatible.
Yeah.
I think we need to like stop denying it because it's just not going to work, is it? Like, let's be honest. Okay, so we have concluded that we don't date Tories.
Please no.
And if you meet a Tory, honestly, go off. Just don't tell me about it, because I'll be like...
I mean, firstly, I wouldn't. And secondly, I'm not...
I meant people listening.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant me.
I know you wouldn't.
Thank you, because that's not my vibe.
Okay, so we're going to get kicked out.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Thank you for your contribution as always.
Anytime.
Happy Black History Month. How do we find you, please?
So you can find me on TikTok at Victory for You, Instagram at Victorious Darius, and basically once you found those, you can find everything else about me.
I always put the links in the bio anyway. But
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Anyone who's watching, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're back next week, I believe, which is rare. Right. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Ta-ra.